I'm Natasha of Antonia, Remington. Today we are doing stage 3 of our makeover of this little aged Parisian piece. So I'm just going to spray it down. I use this mister sprayer. I had a few people ask me about it. I think it's a hair product. I got it on Amazon. If I were to use a regular sprayer, it would kind of give me a spray blast, which is cool and can create a really cool look, but that's not what I'm going for here. As you can see, it's just kind of a fine mist. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a light spray just so that I can get my paint moving for me a little bit because it's thick. The chalk paint is really thick. I'm starting off, and full disclosure, I don't completely remember what I did with the first one. I generally don't write things down. It's kind of just evolves as I sit down with it, and sometimes I have an idea in mind and I go with it, and then I don't like it. So then I let it sit for a minute, and then I come back and try to do something else. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But we're gonna try. I'm just gonna use a small little brush to get in here. This actually seems kind of watery. And I'm just gonna come in through the details. I'm not being precise about it. If you want a little bit more on this one, you can see. Actually, the more inconsistent I am with it, the cooler it looks in the end. Okay, so you can see I'm just coming along in these details. So you can see I'm just coming in through the details. I have a little bit of white still showing through over here, and I wanted that. When I come in with the dark wax, it's going to dirty it up and make it look nice and old and ancient, lovely. So I just keep on coming back in, going back and forth till I get the desired amount that I'm looking for. I want to put a little bit more on the bottom and on the top so that when I do spray it and I get these nice runs, it'll kind of drip down a little bit more. Okay, so nothing perfect. You can get a little bit on the sides, that's good. I want a little bit more over here and over here. And you just keep working with it until you feel comfortable with it. I'm gonna give it a spray, and you're gonna start to see the movement. And I just keep spraying until I get the look that I want. Sometimes it's good to stop because it will keep moving. This piece over here.
Right now, the color that you're using for the detail is?
Primer red. It's really good for adding age in corners. So is Honfleur. Those are two of my favorites for that. So yeah, we're getting this. And you can see right here, it's starting to, I'm gonna add a little bit more on the top because I want it to kind of bleed a little bit down. Just a little bit. We're getting some of this bleeding over here, and that's what I wanted. If you have too much, that's okay. Just spray it. If you don't like an area, just keep spraying it and the water will actually make it go away. I'm kind of liking this. This is a little intense over here, so I'm going to spray it a little bit more. But it also drips down into the bottom and gets in the crevices, and that's fun too. So you just keep working with it until you really like what you see. sometimes this is kind of fun. Sometimes if I don't get the look that I'm trying to achieve and I want it to drip a little bit more, or I want it to run a little bit more, I'll just take my finger and kind of smush it in, and you can see it almost just blends it really nicely. And so I'll do that sometimes and bring it down. That's what I was looking for. I think I added a little bit of Arles. I happen to love Arles. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it's fun for this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go in while this is still wet and just see what we get. I don't know, that might be awful. Well, let's give it a try. And I just keep working with it. That's all you have to do. That's kind of the fun of it, is you just keep going until you get what you want. I'll come back, give it a quick spray, and then you'll see you get a little bit more color variation coming through. I didn't want that to be so dramatic right there, so I'm just gonna spray it, and it will just kind of like tie-dye the outer layer. That's a little bit, and then I'll get like some nice strips coming down, and you can see again, just adding a little bit more primer red. And that's exactly what I'm going for. I'll do it again on the sides, maybe bring something down like that till I just get all of the paint off my brush. But that's pretty much what I want it to do. Don't want those to look like blood stains. That's not fun. So I'll spray that a little bit more. And that's what we want. That's exactly what we want. Now I have to wait for this to dry. We're in Florida, so it is super humid. I have to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to come back with Giverny. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wax it. So tomorrow what I think I'll do is I'll wax the whole thing. Unlike what most people do, which is clear wax and then dark wax and black wax, I do my dark wax and my black wax first. It takes some time. I would practice a little bit with it before you start doing that, because once you get it stained into the paint, you can't really move it around that much. But I want it to come through because I'm going to be adding another layer of paint to this before it's finished. So I'll go around and do some dark wax. I don't think I'm going to use black wax on this. Do some dark wax to add some depth right here and right there. You can see it in the original picture. It almost looks like Abusan. When you have the dark wax on there. And then I'll clear wax it, and then I'll come through when the clear wax is wet, and that's when I'm gonna just very lightly add Giverny in and kind of mesh it and smush it into the clear wax, and that's really where the magic happens. That's all I have for you today. Unfortunately, with these, when I do a bigger piece, we'll have a better idea of how we'll have more room to paint with, so you'll have a better idea of we'll have more time, I guess. But with this small piece, And this look, there's so many stages and layers to it that we really just have to kind of be patient and wait for the paint to dry, waiting for paint to dry, before we move to the next layer. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, go ahead and message us.